Hey there, welcome to Song Drumming Chronicles. My name is Miguel, and today we're going to talk about EQing yourself and how that can help you really make songs come alive by being really sensitive to the volumes of the different frequencies in the drum kit. So, what do I mean when I say EQing yourself? So it's basically a reference to an EQ. It's got a bit of outboard equipment that you see a lot in recording studios. You might see it live as well. And basically what it does is it changes the volumes of the different frequencies in the spectrum. So I think of it on the drum kit as the high frequencies, which is the cymbals, hi-hat and cymbals, and the lower frequencies, which is the bass drum and some of the tom-toms. So cymbals are high frequency, bass drum and tom-toms lower frequencies. So why is it important? Well, it's important for a couple of reasons. The first reason is it allows you to play to the room. So if you're playing in a room, whether it's a studio or a live space, where it really accentuates and makes the high frequencies jump out, you need to lower the volume of those high frequencies, which in your case, as a drummer, is the hi-hat and the cymbals, okay? Or maybe the lower end, the bass, is really, really pronounced. So you got to back off on the volume of the bass drum and maybe some of the tom-toms, okay? That's one reason. So it helps you play to the room. The second reason it's important is it really helps you create some nice contrast between different sections of the song. If you've been checking out my videos, there was one video on using different tones and timbres on the ride voices, the hi-hat and the ride cymbal. You can use volume in very much the same way, just having the same timbre, let's say the tight hi-hat sound, at a couple different volumes in the song will really change how a particular section of a song feels emotionally. Okay, so that's what it is and why it's important. Now, how do you do this? So I'm going to give some examples here of what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate what I'm talking about. We're going to start first with having a basic rock beat with all three voices, bass drum, snare drum, and hi-hat at full volume. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, Now we're going to mess with that. Let's say the high frequencies are really a little too loud in the room you're playing in, or you think the groove would sound better with the hi-hat quieter. We're going to take the hi-hat down about half of its normal volume. Bass drum and snare drum stay at full volume. Check it out. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, now same thing, but we're going to reverse it. Hi-hat back up to full volume, bass drum down to half volume. And again, this would be a situation where maybe the bass frequencies in the room are a little too loud and you need to take the bass drum volume down. So check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 on. Okay, now the last one is one that I run into a lot, where you're playing a small room and all of your volumes got to come down. Usually if the snare drum volume has to come down, that means everything needs to come down. So we're going to listen to all three voices, bass, snare, and hi-hat, at about half volume from where we started before. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, there you have it. Okay, we're back. So hopefully with those 4 examples you saw how you can change how a beat feels just by messing with the volumes of the high and the low frequencies. One really fun way to apply this to music is take some of your favorite songs, whether it's in bands you play in or pre-recorded songs from other bands that you really love, and look at how you can manipulate how a section of a song feels by taking down the higher frequencies and taking them up again, taking down the bass drum frequency, the lower frequency, and taking it up again. And you can use that, just like you use different tones and timbres on the hi-hat and the ride cymbal, to really make those sections of the song feel really, really different. Okay, so maybe you'd have the verse of a song at half volume on the hi-hat, the pre-chorus comes up to 3/4 volume, and then the chorus is at full volume, not changing the timbre at all. So that's just one example, and there are infinite examples of how to mess with this stuff, but being able to physically pull that off is really, really important. And again, it's important because number one, it allows you to play to the room, and number two, it allows you to create a different emotional vibe for different sections of the song. Okay? And remember, the challenge here is that we're trying to develop the skill to be able to take the different volumes of the different voices, which means the volumes in the different limbs of your body, your hands and feet, and be able to have control of them, so that when you go from hi-hat at full volume with everything else full volume and you move immediately to a section with hi-hat at half volume, you can do so immediately with a great transition and stay there consistently until you decide it's time to come back to 3/4 volume or time to come back to full volume. And the same thing with the bass drum or whatever voice. And that's the challenge here. So that's it for Song Drumming Chronicles for today. My name is Miguel. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, we don't work drums, we play drums. So have fun when you drum. Thanks. Ciao.